Hello, everyone. Welcome to Illuminating Astrology. It's the beginning of the month, and it's time to take a look ahead, both at the astrology of the month of March, because it is remarkable, and at the electional astrology, what are the good and what are the difficult days of the month. In today's video, I want to look for our mundane activities, day to day. This astrology is more general. It doesn't take into account our natal charts or the global charts. Nevertheless, it's still helpful when we plan and choose important activities. So let's first look at the month ahead, because year 2026 is remarkable and almost each month brings something special with it. The month starts on a remarkable note. Of course, we had an attack on Iran, but that was at the end of February. And today we have the full lunar eclipse. I have a separate video, which many of you liked, on lunar eclipse. I wanted to say that more globally, it is the emphasis on Virgo and Pisces, which is about resources, about practical needs, about organizing our lives. And it's about Piscean energy, which is about, in the more spiritual sense, it is about unity, it is about connection, it is about emotional sense of connection with life and each other. This is more spiritual, but if we speak in the more ordinary terms, in worldly terms, this is about the oceans, the seas, the water. There is a remarkable concentration of force. And of course, people who have Pisces, important Pisces planets, and those who are Virgos, they would feel it very strongly. But this affects all of us. Almost each month we get the concentration of stelliums. It's almost like a parade of the planets, which highlight each sign. So this time highlight is on Pisces. So it is about military operations at seas, but it is also about unity, compassion, and many, many other things. In addition, from the point of view of transits, Mercury went stationary retrograde on the 26th and started its retrograde movement on the 27th. And now we are on March 2nd. So Mercury is going to continue retrograde. Not only it's retrograde, it's with the sun, which takes its power away, and it's also in a sign where it doesn't feel good. But from the point of view of electional astrology, that can suggest delays, miscommunications, technical challenges, computer technology challenges, misunderstandings, and so on. Mercury is going to go retrograde until March 21st. So for the large part of March, Mercury is retrograding. From the mundane point of view, it is time to revisit things, especially everything related to mercurial activities, teachings, communication, various paperwork. So we have a few important things going on in this month. The concentration of energy in Pisces, that's really remarkable. And that emphasizes on an ordinary level, it emphasizes water, seas, oceans. So it can bring floods or a lot of rain on the one hand, but on a more spiritual level, it is about unity, it is about sacrifice, it is about compassion. And with that, we have Mars in a water element, we have Mercury in water element, the Sun, and Venus, right? Out of this, the Venus is most positive. We can certainly work with beautiful things, pay attention to beautiful things, art, music, creativity, expression. They can be healing amidst the difficult times. But another important thing is Jupiter is retrograding, and so it will finally turn direct on March 12th. Also, in a more mundane level, it's really favorable. When Jupiter goes direct, it's favorable for fertility, it's favorable for investment, for financial increases. Again, remember, I'm taking this as in a simplified form for the whole world, for everybody. Of course, in each personal chart, it'll influence this chart in a particular way. So these are the global themes of the month. And this month, we will also have our spring equinox when the sun goes to Aries, which marks a beginning of astrological year. And this year is really remarkable because after this concentration of energy in Pisces, we have a concentration of energy in Aries, which is certainly a time of new beginnings, new starts, ending of the old matters and establishing of the new. I think just as month of February was remarkable, we can expect month of March to be remarkable as well. So let's take a look at day by day and see how the energy can be used. Though I have to say, in the month of March, there are many challenging days. It's almost like we have to review, reflect, prepare. As the month progresses, there will be more positive days for investment, for travel, for surgery, and so on. So let's take a look starting from today. Today is the eclipse, which is a time of imbalance, difficult time, only good in the sense of spiritual pursuits, but from practical point of view, not an easy day. March 4th, March 4th, and March 5th, she is in Libra. And that time she is in positive aspect with Jupiter. So not a bad time for social activities, publicities, perhaps, communication, diplomacy. So it can be used if you have to travel or you need to communicate. March 6th, she is moving to Scorpio, which is a difficult position for the moon, which suggests ups and downs, but she will be in trine with Jupiter, in trine with the sun. So for some activities, especially related to emotional matters, if you need to do a research or kind of get to the bottom of things, that's a with Scorpio moon. I suppose travel can be okay, but it's not a very strong position. So it's not bad, but not entirely great. On March 7th, she continues to be in Scorpio. This March 8th, the moon is entering the void state. So it's not favorable. Good for emotional work, maybe therapeutic work, but not really good for things that you want to move forward. March 9th, she's in Sagittarius and in mutual reception with Jupiter, which would be generally good for expansion and increases. But at the same day, she is also squaring Mars. So that suggests patience, conflictual energy. So in a way, avoid, especially for surgical medical procedures. It's not so favorable for investment either. March 10th, she continues in Sagittarius. It's a little better because she is in mutual reception with Jupiter and she's out of her square with Mars. A little better day, but mediocre. March 11th, she's entering the void state and she's entering Capricorn that day. And when she enters Capricorn, she will sextile Mars and Mercury and the Sun. So a day where things can flow, especially practical matters. It's not amazing, but it could be a practical, productive day. So March 12th, she's in Capricorn, and March 13th, not a bad day for practical decisions, practical matters, though as far as investment, it's mediocre. March 14th, she's in Aquarius, but and she is sextiling planets in Aries. So this can be good for social activities or learning something. Not entirely bad. They could be okay for travel. March 15th, she's void. A lot of days in March, there's a void moon, so not much momentum is going on. If you can, don't start activities on the day. You can continue something, especially learning or social activities, but it doesn't have momentum. There's no much energy. March 16th, also not a lot of energy in her, but can be useful for some social activities, learning, perhaps communication. March 17th, decidedly a difficult day. She's with a retrograde Mercury and she's with Mars. So that's not favorable for investments or especially for surgery. So for travel, avoid it, especially travel by water. March 18th is a new moon. Again, time of a new seeds, new beginnings, not favorable for mundane success. So avoid it for job interviews, travel, or investment. March 19th, she's with Saturn, another restriction. So we have those, it's almost like preparation for spring equinox, some difficulties that have to be overcome. So Moon Saturn connection could be good for organizing activities, but not good for travel, investment, and especially for medical procedures. March 20th, she is already separating from Venus, but she's not applying to anything. So that's a void state. So you may start activities, but they may not be fruitful until later. And March 21st, she finally enters Taurus. By that time, Mercury is also turning direct. Moon in Taurus, a very strong position for the moon. She is applying to Jupiter with reception. So it's a strong day, a good day financially, good day for travels, good day for establishing, increasing one's financial security and for investment. 22nd of March could work, though the moon enters the void state and she's with Uranus, so some unpredictable energy is here. However, she's still in reception with Jupiter, so not a bad day. March 23rd, she is in Gemini and sextiling planets in Aries. So this is good for social activities, for initiation. But on March 24th, she's squaring Mars, so that's not favorable for travels or medical procedures. March 25th and 26th, she's with Jupiter. That's really nice. Both investments, though, can be fluctuations on the markets, but investments increase. Perhaps silver increases at the time. It's not a bad day. March 27th and 28th, she is in Leo, enshrining planets in Aries. That's generally favorable, but Saturn is also here, so it's not without some challenges. So March 27th, 28th, acceptable day, an acceptable day. And March 29th, she's entering Virgo. She's supported by Jupiter. That's decent for practical matters, organizational matters, practical security. Investment is okay. March 30th, though, she's approaching an opposition with Mars, which is a difficulty. So avoid it for activities related to body or investment. And March 31st, she separates from Mars but applies to an opposition with Saturn, which is a somewhat challenging day. So not a huge amount of gray days, but there are some. Of course, you can do ordinary activities any day. The elections are best for something important: job interviews, investments, surgeries, travels. So in the month of March, there are not a lot of amazing days. There are only a few really good ones. Of course, it doesn't mean that we have to stop living. We should go about our activities. The elections are more for something really significant like surgery or important job interview or investment and travel. So that's what I have to say about the month of March. Thank you very much for watching. If you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe, like, comment. Your support helps my channel grow and is very much appreciated. And stay tuned for more.